wage. Minimum wage is only meant for teenagers, not grown adults.
Wrong. I've already made a few videos on this, but the sheer arrogance and ignorance of what this guy is saying, I figured I'd do it again. At no point in the history of even the idea of a minimum wage has it ever been about teenagers and work experience. It started back around the turn of the 20th century as the Industrial Revolution grew and businesses were exploiting workers. Long hours, dangerous conditions, no structure, and nowhere near enough money to live off of. Even for one person, let alone a family. And back then, the family structure was usually one main wage earner. So let's look at what Roosevelt said about it. And not that one, the first one. No man can be a good citizen unless he has a wage more than sufficient to cover the bare cost of living and hours of labor short enough so after his day of work is done, he will have time and energy to bear his share in the management of the community to help in carrying the general load. And a fair and livable wage is what he based his third campaign on. Yeah, he ran for a third term. Now let's go back to the Roosevelt who actually made it happen, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. After the Great Depression, he also ran his campaign on the same platform. And one of the things he is most famous for saying is, no business which depends for existence on paying less than living wages to its workers has the right to continue in this country. Teenagers weren't looking for job experience back then. You worked to survive and provide for your family. The minimum wage was created with the Fair Labor Standards Act in 1938 at a mere 25 cents an hour. Also established a 44-hour work week, which a few years later turned into a 40-hour work week. Also set a minimum age for work at 16, but anyone under 18 could not work in dangerous conditions. 25 cents doesn't seem like a lot, and even if you count for inflation, that comes to about 460 some odd cents nowadays. But back then, that was plenty to support at least a family of 3. But most houses didn't have air conditioning. They didn't have heating. They used wood stoves and fireplaces. Steam and radiators. Everything you needed was at the general store down the street. Most jobs were either within walking distance or you could hop on the train or the trolley and get there. People weren't commuting 5 to 10 miles for work. No TV, no internet. Most still using ice boxes. Milk was delivered from the farm up the road. It's meant to be a livable, survivable wage. Definitely not to provide creature comforts or extra sprinkles, but livable.